not a good morning then? No? Thank you. That's better. That's so much nicer. There's space just down here, look. Or up on there. How many of you have had to go to school this week?
Not this week.
Thank you. So all of you have been on school holidays?
Yeah.
Maybe one or two have had.
I like winter holidays like a year.
You like? I think the teachers would like it when it's a year too. And how many of you have done some really nice things this week?
I've been like something in a year.
What have you done?
Last year, I remember that I was picking so many equipment when it was equipment back.
You were putting equipment back. Have any of you seen your friends?
Wait, I see my friends.
Did you see your friends this week? Have you played with your friends this week? Well, this story that I've got is a true story, and it's about something that I did last week when I went to see my friends. Now, I wanted to set off last Sunday. I was going on my own, and I was having to go up the motorway, quite a long way up the motorway on my own. Now, I was going to go and see two sets of friends. The first set of friends has got a new addition, a little baby, and he's called Harry, and I wanted to go and see Harry. And then the other set of friends are a lovely family, and I wanted to go and see them too. So there were two groups of friends that I wanted to see that lived quite a long way away. So I got in my car. Now in our family we have two cars. We have my car, which is a little bit old, and it doesn't have nice seats, and it doesn't have warm seats, you know, those kind of seats that you get in and they warm. Well, we didn't have them in my car. And it doesn't have a satellite navigation system. Now, who knows what one of those is?
I have
So it tells you where, if you want to go somewhere, it tells you the route.
That's it. If you want to go somewhere, it tells you the route. I didn't have one of those in my car. I don't have one that goes on the screen.
My dad got it.
So, you've got them, and you've got one, your daddy has one. So, I have somebody in my family who tries to organise me. And he gave me a list of instructions. Did you hear the word he? Have to guess who that might be. And the first set of instructions said, go all the way up the M1 to junction 35A.
Oh, that's a big number.
That's a long way. It's a very big number. It's a long way. But I had been to these friends that have got the little baby. I'd been there before. I'd driven maybe once or twice, but I'd been there before, and I set off at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I hope she's not listening because she knows then I've left late. And I set off, and off I went, and as I got closer, I kind of knew the road. And I thought, this is okay. So I'm not good on left or right either, but I realised that I had to get the A616, and I had to go up the M1 across towards Manchester, then off towards Huddersfield, and then a couple of roads, and I found their house really nicely. And I saw the baby, which is how I got the picture. And then we had lunch, and we spent the afternoon, and it was lovely. I was playing with little ones and reading stories, and I had such a nice time. And then I looked outside, and I looked at the time, and I thought, oh, I'd better go, because I'm going to see some other friends, the other family. Oh, it was 6 o'clock. Now, who knows what time sunset is tonight?
4 o'clock.
Don't think it's 4 o'clock. Who knows what sunset time is tonight? It's after 4 o'clock, but it was well before I had got in my car. What time is it?
Is it 5 o'clock?
About 5 o'clock. So, it was dark, and I'd got in my car, Now, I had no satellite navigation system and I had to go somewhere I didn't know how to get to. So I got my list out again. And I tried to read it, but it was dark. And I don't care what Pastor Cleve says, in Yorkshire, it is not quite the same as being down near Watford, because there wasn't any street lights either. And my direction said, turn left towards Huddersfield and go 3 miles. So as I got to the top, I knew I had to turn left and I pressed my mile reader on so I could get 3 miles. That's what my list said. And I went 3 miles and it was pitch black. There was no street light. There were no names on the roads. And I didn't know where I was. What should I do? Oh yeah, that meant I was going to get lost. And I was beginning to get a little bit nervous. Now, if you know me, you know I don't like the dark. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I find it a bit scary. No. So I'm sitting in my car on my own with a lovely set of these, which I couldn't read, and I didn't understand, and I didn't know where I was. What should I do? So I pulled the car in, I turned the light on, I looked at my list and I thought, I don't know where I am. I'm on a road and I haven't got a clue where it is. So, what do you think I did?
Prayed?
I did pray. I did. I stopped in the middle of a really dark road. Not in the middle. I pulled over to the side and I put my hazard lights on. And I turned the light on and I stopped and I said, Dear Lord, please help me because I have not got a clue where I am and I'm beginning to get a little bit frightened. Now, I'm a lot older than you and sometimes I think I should be a lot braver than I am. And I'm sure that you would be a lot braver than I was. And then all of a sudden I remembered that my big girl sometimes uses her phone. So I thought, right, okay, I'll have a look on my phone and there's something called Maps. Okay? Now, Maps tells you where you are. That's really useful when you want to know where you're going. And so it told me where I was. And so then I put in where I wanted to go. And it drew me a little line. Whoa, I thought, this is great. Thank you, God. So off I set. Hang on a minute. That's right. So off I set, and I was flashing. Can you see it flashing to say, this is where you are? And I was flashing as I was going along. And I came to a crossroads, and I went that way. Which way's that way?
Yeah.
Which way that way? Right. I went that way. I went to my right, and that would be your left. And I drove down there, and all of a sudden it started flashing, and there was no blue line telling me that I was on the right road. So I turned round, and I stopped the car again, and as I scrolled up, there was a button, and it said, go. And I thought, oh, should I have pressed that? Now, okay, all these people are sitting there behind me thinking, Alison's not as bright as we thought she was. Okay? But I haven't used it before. But I pressed it. And when I pressed it, it said, turn around. And I thought, oh, it talks to me. Who'd know? So I then went all the back to where I'd turned right, and I went straight on, and it said, turn right, turn right. So I turned right, and it said, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I kept going, kept going, kept going. And then it said, turn right. And I turned right. And then it said, go down here a little way. So I went down there a little way. And then it went, turn left. And I went, turn left. And it said, turn into the road you want. And I turned into the road I want, went along. Number 4, there it is. Thank you. And I turned up on the doorstep, cool, calm and collected, as if nobody knew that I'd got lost. Now, that story, as I was thinking about your week, there are billions of people in this world. You're just one of them, and so am I. And yet God heard, and that's right, there's only one of you and there's only one of me. And God heard my call on a 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening from the middle of North Yorkshire, or is it South Yorkshire? Somewhere in Yorkshire. It's too far, really. He heard me call him. I said to him, help, I'm lost. And he heard me. And he rescued me. And otherwise, I could have been driving around Yorkshire forever. And you know what? In the Bible, it says something in Matthew 28 and verse 20. And I just want, now because I know you've got a very clear voice and you've got your glasses on, can you read that very last one? And it says from and. Let me just get this for you. Can you see it right at the bottom?
From and surely. Yeah. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age.
God says he is with us. How long?
The end of the age.
Always. And that's the same for me, and it's the same for you, 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 and it's the same for everybody. It's the same as Pastor Git. Everybody, he is here for all of us. So as you go through your week, please remember that God is with you always, and you can always count on him. Please go back to your seats.